Hello, my name is Julianne, also known as Roadrunner, and in 2022 I thru hiked the entire Appalachian Trail, and in 2024, this year, I will be thru hiking the entire, maybe, Pacific Crest Trail. Once I realized that I would be thru hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, I knew that I would be approaching this thru hike a lot differently than the Appalachian Trail. My life has changed quite a bit since doing the Appalachian Trail, and the things that I want to get out of this thru hike is a lot different than what I wanted to get out of the Appalachian Trail. So I'll be probably doing more of like a comparison on how I will be doing things differently. So the first thing on the Appalachian Trail, one of the things that I felt I needed to do is to be very selfish on the AT. Now, being selfish can be looked at quite in a negative way, but I have a job that means I give a lot of myself to other people. If you don't know me or you're new to this channel, I'm a ballroom dance teacher, and I give a lot of my energy and a lot of my love to my students. I am naturally an introvert, but my job requires me to be an extrovert. And so I sometimes give energy that I really don't have left to give as an introvert especially. So the AT was all about recharging my battery and making things about myself. And I really set the very, very strict goal that it was going to be my way or the highway for my hike. That meant when people would hike alongside me, if my goals didn't match up with the people who hiked with me, then it would be natural just to separate. And that did happen if you followed my journey. There are some, moments where I would maybe not do exactly what I wanted because I really enjoyed hiking with my hiking partners, but eventually, of course, I stuck to my goal of I want to do the hike my own way, and if things don't match up anymore, then it's time to separate. The Pacific Crest Trail is different for me. I am going to hike this with a partner, so I can't be selfish, and I don't really have that desire to be selfish for this trail. And so I am definitely looking at the Pacific Crest Trail more in I would like to start learning how to not be selfish and how to give to people and to really connect with them. Being that I will have a hiking partner that I am planning to hike the entire Pacific Crest Trail with, I know that I will have to do a lot of compromising, and I know they will have to do a lot of compromising, but I have that intent. And maybe it is the German in me, but once I set a goal, I stick to it. And going into the Pacific Crest Trail, knowing I will hike with a partner, knowing that I will need to compromise, and knowing that it is my intent to hike this entire trail with them, I definitely know that it's going to be completely different than the AT. Part of the fact that I decided to be selfish on the Appalachian Trail, and also because I am an introvert, I have this tendency that if I get around an environment where there are a lot of people, I try to run away from that situation. I am not a many people person. In fact, if you've listened to some of my other videos, you know that I personally would have decided not to go to trail days. There's so many people. It was a nice event, but it's just too much for me. And one of the biggest regrets I have when having done the Appalachian Trail is that I didn't get more phone numbers of the people that I met, as well as I didn't allow myself to open up to a lot of the people that I met. I'm a very small amount of people person, so the trail family was my safe haven, and if I was around a lot of other people, I tried to be friendly, but it was very difficult for me to open up to them. So I do regret not allowing people in my life more and getting phone numbers. So for the Pacific Crest Trail, that is completely opposite goal for me. I am still an introvert. It's still gonna be tough for me, but knowing that I have regrets with regard to not creating more deeper relationships with people. I know I'll be going into the Pacific Crest Trail with a much more open heart and hoping to allow a lot more people into my life and creating stronger relationships. And then one of the biggest parts of how the Pacific Crest Trail will be different than the Appalachian Trail is my opportunity to be purist or not. On the Appalachian Trail, I was a purist. If you don't know what a purist is somebody who does not skip any sections, does not take any blue blazes. A blue blaze is an alternate route, right? I stayed on the exact Appalachian Trail footpath. I did all the miles of the trail with the exception to one blue blaze. And that is permitted as a purist if it is not in your hands. So if you choose to take a blue blaze, even though you could take the white blaze, that is not a purist. But if there's like some sort of weather issue or a redirect and you are required to take the alternate route, that is okay as a purist. So I had to take a 1 mile blue blaze around the New York Zoo because it was closed, but otherwise I maintained the purist status. It is very unlikely that I will be able to be a purist for the Pacific Crest Trail, and here are the reasons why. The Pacific Crest Trail either will keep you from through hiking on a continuous footpath because of snow and water crossings or wildfires. The West Coast is known to have a lot of wildfires and then therefore trail closures, and it is very common to have to skip sections. It is my intent to have a continuous footpath. It'll have to be a serious closure or a series of redirect for me to either skip or take an alternate route. My intent is still to do a continuous footpath, but I have to go into this trail with the mindset to be okay to have to skip sections, unfortunately. I will not be a yellow blazer though. A yellow blazer is somebody who chooses to skip sections via transportation just because of choice, meaning there is no weather circumstances, there's not a redirect. They just choose to skip a section for no reason except they don't want to hike that upcoming section. So I am going to maintain that standard of not being a yellow blazer. I understand people say hike your own hike. If you want a yellow blaze, that's up to them. I understand that, but as a person who feels a through hike is something that should be a through hike and not skipping sections just for desire, my intent is to hike all the areas that I am physically able as well as allowed to hike. And that is really the big difference on how I'm going to approach the AT versus the PCT. Just to recap, I am going to try to be more open to other people, allow them into my surroundings and get to know people and create connections and create long-lasting relationships. And then the second part is knowing that most likely I'm not going to be able to have a continuous footpath. As sad as this is, but also when I tried to look up what is considered a through hike for the Pacific Crest Trail, I couldn't really find a restriction that said that it has to be within an entire year, versus on the Appalachian Trail website, the ATC, it does say it has to be within an entire year, but the Pacific Crest Trail doesn't really clarify this, and that's probably because it's not very likely to be able to do the entire trail within a year due to the closures. I'm a rule girl, so if the PCT says that it's okay to through hike within 2 or 3 years, I mean, that's them. They made that rule, but the AT, the rule was it has to be within a year, and so I'll do it within a year. Anywho, that's my different mindset. I hope you enjoyed this here talk around there. If you're new to this channel, do consider subscribing. in general, not even half of my subscribers watch my videos. It's a lot of people who are not subscribers. So if you've watched more than one video of mine, consider just doing just that. And that really, really helps the channel. Have a wonderful day. See you in the next video.